defamation of religion in this particular context. Mr. Kobev and Abrams should have to comment on something to say as well.
Tout d'abord, à chaque fois qu'on est obligé de faire une loi, c'est un peu la négation du dialogue. C'est qu'il n'y a pas eu de dialogue et que les choses ont été trop loin. Chez nous en France, il y a une loi, dite loi Guesso, pour ne pas accepter la négation de la Shoah. On a mis des années et des années pour y arriver parce que les choses allaient tellement loin qu'il a fallu à un moment dire stop. Nous avons en Europe, nous venons de voter au Parlement européen des textes de lutte contre les discriminations. Franchement, est-ce qu'on aurait besoin de faire des lois pour lutter contre le racisme et les discriminations? Eh bien, on est obligé de le faire. On est obligé de le faire parce que de temps en temps, ça va tellement loin qu'il y a des hommes et des femmes sur les discriminations qui subissent une pression épouvantable dans leur vie. Alors, en Amérique, on a le droit de dire beaucoup de choses, ce qu'on ne peut pas faire chez nous, et souvent, nous avons des problèmes, par exemple, sur des documents qui nous viennent des États-Unis, qui sont de temps en temps des documents assez difficiles, mais on n'y peut rien. Sur Internet, aussi, c'est difficile d'aller grave et porter plainte contre Yahoo quand on vendait des objets rappelant la dernière guerre, enfin la Shoah, le nazisme, et c'est pas très facile. Voilà. Jusqu'où on doit aller, au niveau de l'Europe, on va loin, et quand quelque chose est inacceptable, quand quelque chose n'est pas acceptable pour la personne, eh bien on légifère, et je trouve que c'est pas mal.
Let me start with a comment on some of the words that we've been using because they're used in this area. I don't think we have an Islamophobia problem. We have a free speech phobia problem. I don't think that it should be illegal to engage in, quote, incitement to hatred, unquote, in and of itself. That is to say, people ought to be allowed in a democratic society to hate as well as love. And they ought to be allowed to think very badly of other people, for just about any reason in the world. And that's something different, in my view, than incitement to violence. And sometimes the same speech will be both. But I think we have to be very careful when we talk about concepts, legal concepts, such as laws designed to prevent incitement to hatred. Now, it is true, as the last speaker correctly observed, that in the area of what I'll call hate speech, there is a different European and American approach. Indeed, there's a uniquely American approach, which is shared nowhere else in the world, so far as I know, in terms of the degree of protection we afford to, quote, hate speech as well as other speech. When President Carter signed the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, he annexed a reservation saying that this would not give authority to any state or the federal government to pass any law inconsistent with the Bill of Rights, which is a way of saying, in polite diplomatic language, thanks but no thanks. We'll do our best, but we're not going to pass laws aimed at speech in this area. Now, one line on why I think we think about this a little bit differently. First, we do have a different history we are more concerned not about taking away someone's right to say something interesting. We're more concerned about giving the government the power to do it. We're more concerned about entrusting to Congress, entrusting to the courts, entrusting to any government entity the authority to say, that speech, that particular speech, is so offensive, so beyond the pale, so inherently threatening, that we will not allow it. From my own view, we allow the protection of hate speech, as in the Skokie case, not because we think the speech has any value at all. It is not valuable, and it is, to some degree, dangerous. We don't want government involved, though, in the decision-making process about what's valuable, what's dangerous, how to strike a proper balance. So, sure, on the outskirts, we will say, yes, incitement to violence with the intent that there be violence and the likelihood that there be violence. Sure, in that sort of case, we'll say it can be banned, but just about nowhere else. And so I view it as our being willing to pay the price of hate speech, not getting the benefits of it, the price of hate speech in return for avoiding the dangers of government intervention into this very, very difficult and fragile area.